Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin Roll International Coin Channel. Today it's the 1944 Lincoln penny from the United States of America, the second to the last year of World War II, which ended in 1945. U.S. came into World War II in 1941, even though it started much earlier in other countries. This is the Philadelphia version of that 1944, and there it's right there. You can see it says, "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty here. 1944, and there's a space underneath the 1944 because there's no mint mark for the Philadelphia coin. In Philadelphia in 1944, they made 1.4 billion of these, the highest mintage of any coin ever in history to that point. 1.4354 billion. And guess what? You can still get one that's worth a ton of money. The NGC says there's 3 Philadelphia coins worth about $9,500 that are just like this, except they look a lot better. We tip it up on its edge and we see that it's still the old brass coin. Looks a little bit of a line there. And then we get it onto the back and we see this is the wheat ears scent with one of the spots on it. And this is supposed to say E pluribus unum, but as you can see, it kind of does, but it's kind of worn. Well, that would make sense. We're talking about 70 or 80 years old, but it also remember that these coins were coins that were used. The penny could actually buy something. You could get something for a penny. You certainly could for 5 cents. In some cases, you could get enough to eat for 5 cents. What other mints did they make it at? Well, they made it at the Denver Mint. And so this coin right here at the Denver Mint, they made about 431 million. So between the two, about 1.8 billion. And there's more to come, because at the San Francisco Mint, they also made regular circulation coins. And there's the S there for the San Francisco Mint. Nice S on these. The San Francisco Mint made 282 million, almost 283. So we're talking about 2.1 billion pennies were made in 1944. Why would they make so many pennies during the war? Well, the answer is right here, and that is the 1943 pennies. And in 1943, of course, they made the steel pennies. And it sounds like, from historians, that people just hated them. They didn't want them. They didn't want to use them. They saw them as a sign that U.S. couldn't provide for its own by making its own pennies out of copper or bronze. And so they decided in 1944 to go back to the copper bronze ones. Now, some people say that the way that they got the copper and the bronze from these was to get shell casings back from ammunition that was shot off in Europe, but extremely unlikely. How about the other rumor that they got them from the training facilities in the United States? They used the shell casings and recycled that copper for pennies. That's a possibility. Now, if you are going to look at the 1943s, here's one thing that I want you to be a little careful about, and that is you might see one here once in a while that's this shiny. And you can see this is an S, the San Francisco Mint 1943. And you can see also that the S looks like, essentially like somebody poured something over the top of it and it got filled in. And that's because somebody did pour something over the top of it. People have rezinked these coins. This is how it should look if it's been used. Even when they were new, they weren't this bright. And you can see you lose a lot of the detail in this. It looks like there is a fluid, like it's almost like it's painted on or dipped, and it is. And so if you're looking for the 1943s and you get one this bright, start by questioning whether it's been rezinked or not, because it's not worth anything really if it's been rezinked. I mean, it fills a spot in your book, but I go with one that looks like this if you get a chance. Now, here's the next story about the 1944, and that is that in 1944, it turns out that they made some steel coins by using the wrong blanks from the 1943 blanks or from some other steel. Um, and so there's some 1944 steel pennies. Truth or some kind of fantasy, it's the truth. If you look on PCGS, you'll see that if you can find a 1944 steel penny, it could be worth $160,000 to $180,000. That's not a mistake. That's how much people are paying for them. It also turns out that if you can find the steel penny with the S on it, PCGS has rated one at $475,000 for a steel 1944 Lincoln penny, and NGC is rated at 500,000 or a cool $500,000,000. So there are some real expensive coins out there. What other ones are there? Well, there's the D over the S. In some of the coins, they got them from the San Francisco Mint. They weren't struck right, or maybe they struck them wrong at the Denver Mint. Whatever it was, they put a D over the top of the S that was there, and you can get a D over an S cent that's also worth a significant amount of money, $23,000, $25,000. So look for the 1944s. Imagine what it'd be like to have a $500,000 1944, because there is one out there, but it's going to be this color and it's going to say 1944 on it. Now, the other thing that you need to know is that the steel coins weighed 2.7 grams as ink coated steel. The copper coins weigh 3.11 grams. So if you find a 1944, you could just weigh it and know whether it's steel or copper. All right, that's all we have today from DC Cornwell International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. Leave any comments you have in the comments section.